Pistons Nation, what's up? It's your boy Steve, and on today's video we're going to talk about the Pistons game against the Wizards. I gotta tell you, I am very disappointed that the team didn't get the dub because the Wizards were short-handed. No Bradley Beal, they were missing Daniel Gafford, and the Pistons still took it on the chin. I gotta tell you, I don't think we're getting enough out of Jeremy Grant. We're not getting enough out of Cade Cunningham. I still have no idea whatsoever, other than trying to keep turnovers down, why we're starting Corey Joseph at point guard. Amadou Diallo should be in the game. I know he has defensive lapses sometimes, but he typically is the type of player that if he makes a mistake, within the next 30 seconds, he's usually trying to make up for it with a steal, a block, some kind of a hustle play. And the guy gets buckets. He's a lob threat. On top of that, speaking of lob threats, I just got done watching the highlights of the game after watching what I could of it while I was working. And I noticed that there was a play by Corey Joseph where he drove the lane and he had a perfect opportunity to throw a lob up to Marvin Bagley III. And instead he took the shot and he made the shot. But those are the type of decisions where you have a very easy bucket where a point guard should be able to get an assist, and instead he takes a shot where if he misses, it's gonna rim out and go to the other team pretty quickly and probably start a fast break, and your big, which is your best line of defense, is now under the opposing team's basket and has to try to rush up the floor to play defense. It's impossible. So the safest play, the smartest play, is to throw it up for the lob. Now I understand they just started playing together and it may take some getting used to having a big that you can throw a lob to, but it's something that they should be able to do. Corey Joseph, he's a veteran. He should have easily, quickly recognized that, but he didn't. Those kind of plays are chemistry plays, in my opinion, and they're the type of plays that need to be made and aren't being made by the team as a whole. And I believe it's because there isn't enough chemistry. I mean, how are you going to have chemistry when you constantly have new players shuffling in and out? And I'm doing my best to be patient, but I got to tell you, next season we're going to have at least one more rookie, maybe two or three, depending on trades. I think it's possible that Jeremy Grant will be traded in the offseason before the draft or during the draft for additional draft assets. Somebody will want to give up the pick for more of a sure thing in Jeremy Grant, and Troy Weaver will probably want to oblige since he'll be able to invest more of his cap space in new veterans. Maybe not though. They seem married to him, and I just don't understand why. The guy wants to be a first or second option. He's probably a third or fourth option at best, in my opinion, on offense. Sure, the guy can get you 20 points, but can he do it efficiently? So far, we have yet to see that in Detroit. Last season, he was mildly efficient, but still probably less efficient than most of the premier small forward / power forwards of the game. And so to me, I'm happy if they keep him. I'm happy if they let him go, but if they keep him, I don't want them paying him $25 million a year or whatever it is that he needs to stay. And now I'd like to talk about Marvin Bagley because I really liked what I saw out of him. He was playing defense, he was hustling, he was ready for lobs, he was ready, willing, and able to hit the post, and he did everything that I said I wanted to see out of him. However, one thing I did notice is that, just like with other players such as Kelly Olynyk, and he's much worse at this, Kelly Olynyk is, and that is, if you watch the team and you watch the NBA as a whole, you'll see there's a lot of players that make the plays that they're supposed to make in terms of, they're supposed to rush out and put a hand up. but they don't have any intention of actually stopping anybody behind it. That's what I've noticed. And I think that may be an issue with Marvin Bagley III, where he'll hustle to get out there. He knows there's no way he's making a play, so he doesn't give that little bit extra that it might take to make the play because he has no belief that he's actually going to do it. He puts his head down, puts a hand up, so he can say he did it when they're going through film sessions, is what I think. And I definitely see a big problem with people like Kelly Olynyk doing the same thing. Really, most NBA players do that at some point in time, but what matters to me is, are you hustling enough, believing in yourself enough, and trying hard enough to hustle out there and really get a block on a shot? Or are you just throwing a hand up so you can say you did? And I don't like seeing people throw a hand up just to say that they did. I want to see them have intentions to block the shot, alter the shot, make the shooter uncomfortable, because that's what defense is about. If you don't make them uncomfortable, you're basically just a dummy like they put up in practice. So, those are my thoughts initially on what I saw from the team. Our season is just down the toilet in terms of wins and losses. There's no way we're making the playoffs with this group playing as it's being coached and rolled out there. One thing I didn't see that I really wanted to see was the lineup I talked about with Hamidou Diallo or Saddiq Bey starting at shooting guard. I know that would put the Pistons in somewhat of a disadvantage speed-wise if it is Saddiq Bey. However, if you're watching Saddiq Bey like I am, he's beasting out there. That guy is just getting buckets. He's hustling. I mean, right now, he's my favorite Piston, even though I really like Cade Cunningham and I like his game and I know that he's supposed to be the future of the team. I see a lot more that I like as far as solid fundamental skills out of Saddiq Bey than I do out of anybody else on the court. That includes Jeremy Grant, Cade Cunningham, anybody else you could name on the Pistons. Saddiq Bey and Hamidou Diallo, in my opinion, are the most talented, best players on our squad. Well, Hamidou and Cade are probably like 1A, 1B. Some people might think that that's like sacrilegious for me to say that because he was the number one pick, but he's got to clean up his turnovers, clean up his decision making. His IQ needs to be a little bit better because while he can make great passes and he can get the ball to people, a lot of times he risks turnovers too much to do so. He sometimes tries to play hero ball where he misses an open man and doesn't move the ball like he should, just like Jeremy Grant does. And you know, I can't fault him for trying to be the man that he's pretty much expected to be. But at the same time, sometimes he's not making the right basketball plays. That extra pass or two would really go a long way. But I also understand it because when you don't trust your teammates to make shots because nobody's making shots, nobody can hit a three, nobody's getting into the lane other than Saddiq Bey and the bigs that are already there that sometimes have trouble finishing around the basket like Isaiah Stewart sometimes does. And Kelly Olynyk, I mean, if you ask me, he's a joke down low other than putbacks. And that's no offense to him in his game. I think he's a really good player. He's very skilled. But with all his injuries, I don't believe he's even close to 100%. And he wasn't a great defender even when he was 100%. So while he can give you offense, if you have that trade-off where you're giving up more points to the man you're guarding than you're scoring, your offense doesn't really matter. And if you haven't noticed, since he came back from injury, his offense is about nil, and his defense is pretty much non-existent. I would rather see Luka Garza at this point because Luka Garza is hitting threes. He at least hustles on defense even if he's undermatched because he's so slow and plots around compared to the other athletes in the NBA. But still, I'd take his hustle and his winning offensive plays any day over Kelly Olynyk from what I've seen since he came back from injury. Anyway, man, that's, guys, that's pretty much what I have for you right now. I could go on forever, and I've already talked longer than I normally do. Just wanted to put out a video for the morning because I just want to keep putting out content. My videos are not as cleanly edited and beautiful as I want them to be right now, but I keep working behind the scenes on trying to set up my processes and make sure that I get some standard things down, like what is my intro going to be, what's the music to it going to be, what's the outro, and all those kind of things. So just bear with me, stay tuned. I know sometimes seeing the same thing, the same video gets boring for a while, but I intend to make it better, make it more like some real cable network type news or some really clean YouTube type videos, and I have a lot of the things I need for that. In fact, I just bought a drone so that I can get some nice drone footage of LCA once I learn how to fly it, and just make everything clean and nice for you guys. So do me a favor, stick with me, share these videos, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit me up on Twitter, give me a follow over there. It's Pistons_Nations1 on Twitter, and you can email me anytime at pistonsnationmail@gmail.com. Alright, and with that, I'm out.